Hey there friends, it's Bill McDonald, the Writing Doctor, and today's lesson is from page 32 to 89 of the Dear Doc binder. I call it ET Phone Home Extra Time with Homophones, using the way a homophone is spelled to help remember how to use it correctly in context. Before I show you that part in the binder, I thought I would show you a cool way to kind of have fun with some homophones with your kids during this time off. So I've given you 3 examples. Please don't make fun of my artistry. It's more the point that I'm trying to make. So here's the word marry 3 different ways. And so the idea is your kids have to use homophones in a sentence to try and make sense. So here we go. I'm going to give you 3 of them. Hopefully you like them. I was merry, M-E-R-R-Y, until I had to marry, M-A-R-R-Y, capital Mary. And so there's Mary, me being happy. So what you might do is you're going to tell your kids, underline the E, because that Mary is your emotions when you're excited. Mary has to do with a ring you put on somebody. And I have a little acronym for that stands for Men Aren't Really Ready Yet. So you might want to have to wait or marry someone a little more mature. And there is capital Mary. She's in a bad mood, so I can see why the person was merry until he had to marry Mary. My next one that I came up with, challenging one. I used 3 sets of homophones in one sentence, trying to make sense out of it. Capital, we didn't contraction, no weather. The weather was going to be hot or cold, comma, so we wore our jackets to the capital snowball, capital fight, capital war, capital hour. So we have weather and weather, war and war, hour and hour. Alright, let's talk about those a little bit. Weather is, if you can't pick whether it's he or her, I know that's not correct grammar, but if you're making a decision, tell them to point out the he and the her of weather. This weather, the word heat is hidden inside of it, so it makes it easy to remember when you're talking about the temperature. War is clothing that you put on. War is a battle. Our means we own it, the opposite of your, so you can put a your in front, and you can't put a your in front of this one, okay? So, since this war has an O on it, you could put a little stick man on the O, and a person can have something that they wore, like in this case of the picture we're going to show you, and then the battle, and then the hour is the time. And because the name of the snowball fight is called the snowball fight war hour, you'd capitalize war and hour in this case. So there is hour as in time, there is our jackets. Hour means more than one person. And again, like I said, don't make fun of my artistry. I even let the snowman take part in the snowball fight. He has one almost as big, well, bigger than his head, I guess. Okay, so that's how if you can challenge your higher students to use the list from the last pages to try and come up with at least 2 sets or possibly 3 sets. Here's another simple one dealing with something that we're struggling with these days. I went to the store to purchase 2 gallons of milk, but the line was too long. So there's the 2 gallons, the number, and then there's the line, and I'm going to call it physical distancing, because in my personal opinion, social distancing sounds like you can't communicate or talk with each other. I think it's better to call it physical distancing not social, because I can be just as social from 6 feet away or 10 feet away or a mile away. But when you say physical distancing, I understand what you mean. So there's play on words using an actual situation that we're dealing with right now. So let me go through the list from pages 32 through the 80s. Fair, and you can use a play on the words, always is right. Fair, AR, a rental fee. The weather, and the weather, the one we already talked about. Wear, here, versus wear some earrings that you might put on. Pair, something you eat, EA. To pair, a pair of Air Jordans. Weight, IGH, I get heavy when I gain weight. Or weight, IT, until IT, it's shining. Wait until it is. Whale, whine a lot. Whale, water, huge animal. Marry, men aren't really ready yet. Marry, an excited emotion. Moan, needed to mow. Needed to mow. Versus moan, a noise that someone makes. Sun, when you look up, you will see the sun. You. Sun, a person. See, again, you could draw a stick man right there. A person could be the SON. Size increases. Zipper expands. SIZE. Size, a soft sound that you make for whatever reason. When you choose, you SE select. Choose. He eats watermelon seeds. It'd be nice to eat the watermelon, not the seeds, but some people are a little weird. Cereal is a series of numbers. Cereal is the one you can eat. Capital is a letter, and Capitol is the Texas governor lives there, or the president. Don't have one for the mayor level. So, what you sow deserve. Sow, something eventually worn. You sew it, and then you possibly might wear it. Sale, sold at LE less. Sale, see and I leave. See and I leave. What route are you going to take? What road out are you going to use? Route, cross off the two O's. You can't see a tree's root. Reel, you reel in an eel, EE. Real, I actually lived it when it's real, AL. In versus in, a nice night at Holiday Inn, INN. Okay? Ours has hands, or ours, not yours. Higher, to GH, go high, to higher. So as long as they can learn one or the other, they can usually figure out something to do to differentiate, because you won't know which one to look up in a dictionary since they sound the same, they just look differently. Hose, when you evenly spread dirt. Evenly spread, or the hose out squirts everything. Out squirts everything. Here, not there. Here with your ear. Hey, horse ate yesterday. Or hey, as in H-E, hello. Have versus have. When you have something, you have less, half of it. Hair, a rabbit, or hair on your head. Break, you take a R-E, arrest, versus break. Break is to resist accidents, to break. You will resist accidents, probably prevent them. Bored is an emotion. Board is an art, A-R, display. That's my fax machine again. Just ignore that. Blue past tense, as in wind, or blue if you look up at the blue sky. Berry, that you eat, or bury with a U, put under something. The bass, A-S-S, a strong sound, or bass as in baseball. Raise, I-S-E, I increase salary eventually. Like, I think all this extra work going out of your way as teachers, you're gonna need to get a raise because you're going above and beyond the call of duty and your responsibility as teachers. Or raise, a yellow sun produces rays. Principles, more than one. Powerful leaders exhibit standards. Powerful leaders exhibit standards. Or principals, P-A-L-E at P-A-L-S, the school leader, the principal, can be your pal, but normally they'd rather be your authoritative figure. When you pray, you ask God for something, or if you pray, the predator eats you. Predator eats you. Poor, I'm broke, I have zero money. Or poor, owe you out. Plane, a plane takes off and lands, L-A-N, or plain, I-N, I need plain paper. Peace, I eat cake. I eat cake, just one piece. If you want to stay thin like me, joke. Or peace, the excitement around the country would create peace. P, E-E, behind a tree, E-E. Pea, the vegetable, U-E-A, eat. Pause, your pet's paws make you go, ah. And pause, S-E, you stop everything. Guest, when you S-T, stay home, or guest, when you make a silly selection. So, you could also point to yourself or to a person, a guest, or when you point to your head, you're making a guess. Things that you can do kinesthetically. Grown. When you're grown, you own a car, house, or even a wife, like one student shouted out. That happened in one of my classrooms, O-W-N. Apparently his dad thinks he's the boss of the family and doesn't realize that's not how it goes. Grown is A-N, a noise. Grease, as in the country, or grease, as in E-A-S-E, to cook with ease, is when you grease something down. Fowl, O-L, a bird, an animal with wings. Foul, in baseball you foul out when you hit the ball. out of bounds and they catch it. Flower, without water, they wilt, W. And this flower has no W in it, so flour is our favorite tortilla, even though corn is more healthy. Flee is when you escape everything, and flee, EA, is the one who EA eats your dog. Find, when you get a ticket, you need extra dough, after you get fined for whatever reason. Find, I now discover. Feet looks like two upside down feet, the E and the E, or FE, a feat, an exciting accomplishment. These are just my ways of remembering. Your kids can come up with something different. Bear, an animal with an ear, or bear are empty. Something is not there. Wood, out in the wood, you can find a wood outdoors in the form of trees, OD. Would you like doing something? I would like to do something. Past, PT as in a previous time, or past, applied successful strategies everywhere. If you apply successful strategies everywhere, you'll find out that you passed the test. And the last one, days, AYS, a yellow sun, versus days when you're sleepy, zzz, lots of E's. So then what I recommend you do on the next several pages, have your kids on page 83, 84, 85, 86, and 87. Either write sentences using the pictures like I showed you here, or use plays on words, underlining certain letters to help them remember something. And then you can come back here and play some games. When you play Phone a Friend, this game, you're going to tell the kids in a sentence. It says, homophones are sometimes difficult to spell correctly because they sound the same but are spelled differently. Listen to 2 or 3 sentences read by the teacher or someone in the class. Decide with your partner or your team which is the correct spelling of each homophone as it is being read in the sentence. Write the correct spelling of each word below. So if there are 3 words in a certain order, just like on the examples I gave, you have to put them in the same order. But phone a friend means you can use a partner or your team to write out the correct spelling. And the last activity is called ET Phone Home. ET stands for extra time or extra times. We need extra time to practice when things are hard to remember. Homophones are very difficult to spell correctly since they sound the same but are spelled differently. Use the list of homophones you have been assigned to practice writing sentences with the correct spelling of each one as you use it in context. Circle the word you are using as a homophone as you write each sentence. 2 examples have been written for you below. So you might assign night and night. So here's how the kids would use it. The knight was in battle against some bad men. Serves as a king, K. When I drive at night, I have a hard time seeing. The other one, I don't know how to wrap a message with a song. And I don't know what happened there, but apparently when I converted over to PDF, it didn't want to separate those words correctly. So you can show your kids, hey, that's how some of you guys write, where all your words are smashed together like cars that are tailgating each other where there's no space between. But you can see wrap in there, have them circle the word wrap, and compare it to the teacher told me to wrap up my sandwich. To wrap, W, wrap a wedding gift, where there's W's on that wrap and there's no W on the other wrap, the same. So they would come up with 8 more and write their own sentences as a team or with a partner. I would recommend you maybe do a couple as a class. So there we go. It's a couple of activities you can do with homophones from pages, I believe it was 34 to page 89. God bless you guys and have a great afternoon.